just starting with like kind of the overview of our services. But before I even get into that, I usually like to start any of my seminars by outlining the problem that Spotlight was created to solve. It all started because the real estate industry is extremely competitive. This obviously isn't something I need to tell you. You're all real estate agents. You deal with this every day. Uh, but the problem is that there's hundreds of realtors out there. They're all fighting for the same business, extremely competitive. So we need to do something to give you that competitive edge. The problem with this competition is that it's created this like unhealthy environment for real estate agents. It's forced agents in most markets to compete on price by lowering their commissions. Now, I'm not actually sure how low commissions go in your areas. It varies all over the place. I've seen bench ads in Kingston advertising commissions as low as like 0.5%, right? And even on the listing side, the buyer agent side, they only offer 2% now in our area as well. Like the problem with this kind of race to the bottom is that it's getting very unhealthy. And the goal of Spotlight is to remove this race to the bottom and try and promote your value as a real estate agent to get you higher commissions. So we want to fix this problem. We want to make you more money by getting these higher commissions I just talked about. We want to save you time, and we want to help you grow your business. And that's really the entire goal of Spotlight. And we've got a simple solution for this. And it's if you can show your clients that you can provide a service that's superior to the other agents you're competing against, they're going to want you to represent them, and they're going to be willing to pay more for you to do so. After all, this is probably the largest financial transaction of their life. I know a lot of people say that, but it's true. And they're going to want the best people to represent them, right? And in that case, this is you. And the best is what we do from a marketing standpoint. With everything we do, we strive to be one step ahead of the industry. We try to provide the best services around. It's a set of services that's proven to sell homes faster and for more money. And I'm going to go quickly over these services, but again, not in a lot of great detail. And again, like I said before, it's mostly for the benefit of those who haven't used it before, or a refresher that maybe for those who have maybe used this in a while. In a nutshell, though, we provide this comprehensive set of marketing services for your listings. Spotlight's ordered on a listing by listing basis as well. A lot of people always ask that. You can pick and choose which listings you use it for. So you're not like obligated to use it for all your listings. There's no like monthly fee or anything like that. You just order it when you get a listing for that specific listing. So once you order a Spotlight marketing package for one of your listings, the first thing we do is we schedule photography. We take enough high-resolution photographs to properly showcase your listing. It's a minimum of 21, and that's just to get cute with the Century 21 kind of moniker. But that's typically for small apartments or homes. We try and get those 21 photos, but it's typically in the range of 35 or more. And we really try and make sure we have enough photos to properly showcase your home. We enhance all the photos using HDR imaging techniques. Here's an example on your screen that you can see of how HDR imaging can really improve the quality of a picture. The left side of this home's picture is showing without HDR applied. On the right side is with HDR. It takes that standard photograph and it really adds extra pop and polish. You can look at the clouds, the contrast you see there, the brickwork, the grass. Like it just looks like a more magazine quality ready picture, which is important. So we then take those photographs and we turn them into a slideshow style high definition video tour on YouTube with background music and a professionally recorded audio voiceover description of your listing. We also create fully customizable electronic feature sheets of your listing with print copies available on request. And these are completely customizable. We've got an online editor. We can also actually make all sorts of changes for you too. If you're not a techie person who wants to go in and customize them yourself, just give us a call and we can move photos around. We can add information. We can remove information. We can actually do customized templates as well, which we do for a lot of agents. So if you have like a team or specific branding and these templated designs don't really fit that brand, we can create those for you. And it's a really great system we have. It's a one-time setup fee to get those going, but then you never have to pay for it again. It's just kind of included in your future Spotlight packages. So we'll get a designer set up with you. We'll put together your designs. It doesn't cost very much to get these things set up. It depends on how much design work you have. But if you've already got a design in place, we're talking like $15, $20. If you need a full design put together, it's probably closer to $50, $60, something around there. But a graphic designer will quote you for those those customized templates if you need to. And just to clarify too, you don't need these customized templates. That's only for agents that have specific branding, maybe use different colors, and you've got like different logos and kind of a different layout that you want for these feature sheets. So we take all this media that we've created for you, and we put it on a premium web page. It becomes your online presence on the internet. Now, instead of just showing you a slide, I'm going to take you through a live one. I can point out a few key features. Here's a live listing right now that Ryan's got up on Cottonwood Court. Now, the whole idea of this Spotlight web page is that it's split into two kind of areas, the left side and the right side of the web page. The left side has all the things you expect in your virtual tour or your web page, right? It's got photo gallery, video tour, it's got your feature sheets, it's got some leads capture so you can contact the agent, book a showing, that kind of thing. The MLS description and details, all of that stuff is on the left side of the screen. Now, on the right side is what really sets Spotlight web pages apart, in that we do a big focus on the neighborhood. We've got hundreds, maybe even thousands at this point, neighborhood write-ups for different neighborhoods in Ontario, across Canada, actually, that kind of put a spotlight on the neighborhood and really try and sell the neighborhood. We do write-ups on the history of the area, the recreation hotspots. We've got an amenities finder as well, which shows you the different restaurants. I mean, I guess maybe not a lot of people are going to restaurants these days, but still restaurants, fire departments, transit, places of worship, all sorts of different amenities in this amenities finder. We've got a school finder as well. This can show you all of the different schools in the area. You can filter it by like daycare, kindergarten. You can filter it by French immersion schools as well. Looks like there's 3 in this area here: public, private, Catholic, Montessori. Pretty much any kind of school you can think of will be here. It also shows you, like, there's this school zone search tool, so you can figure out if this school is actually in your catchment area, which is a great little search tool, because a lot of people, that's the first thing they want to know is if they have a family, what school zone is in. We also have a commute tool here that shows you how far you can commute from the listing within different periods of time for driving or for walking, which is pretty handy as well. Right. There's a couple other things I want to point out on the listing webpage. Again, I'm just kind of breezing over this quickly, not going over all the features. But when I scroll up and down, you might notice that Ryan's banner stays sticky along the bottom. And this is surprisingly rare in a lot of listing web pages. You're obviously selling a listing, but you're also trying to brand and sell yourself too. So it's important to make sure you've got that branding there all the time, so people know who it is providing this marketing package to their clients, because a lot of times agents will end up getting listing presentations through something like this, like a buyer client. We look at the webpage, be like, oh, this Ryan guy really knows what he's doing, right? So I think I can give him a call, see if maybe he can have the opportunity to sell my home as well. Here, there's also a live chat tool as well. And I always say we kind of added it in as a bit of a gimmick when we started, but turns out it's been the most powerful leads capture tool we've had on our website. So the way this works is it looks like Ryan's ready to talk to you right away. It looks like he's there online, just like waiting to answer questions. So a lot of people go in there and then they'll ask their question. That is the master bedroom this size, or can I come see it tomorrow? Whatever their question would be, they'll type it in there. And as soon as they hit the send button, it'll say, okay, like, just in case we get disconnected from our chat, like, just need your name, your email, your phone number, like leads capture stuff, right? So you capture the lead, they click on the start chat button. And what that will do is it will send a text message directly to Ryan's phone. And the text message will say, okay, Ryan, you've got an incoming lead. Someone's interested in 14 Cottonwood Court. Here's their question. Here's their name. And you can respond to their message directly from your phone, and it'll pop up back in their web browser. So the neat thing is you can have a two-way conversation where they're chatting with you through their web browser and you're chatting back using your phone. It's a pretty handy thing, and it's great because a lot of trainers, a lot of people will tell you that in order to convert on, the best way to convert on a lead is to get it right away within like the first few minutes. The conversion rate goes down significantly the longer you wait. And there's nothing faster than being able to chat with someone live when they're ready to ask that question. It's a great leads capture tool. The other thing I wanted to show is we actually have native translations for the web page in 12-ish languages. One of the advantages of that is actually with Google, because we've natively translated, and we've noted to Google that we do these native translations. If someone's going on Google, let's say their settings on their computer are set to Russian or German or whatever foreign language it happens to be that we translate to, Google actually give a priority to our listing web pages because they're natively translated. And I haven't come across any other sites that do this natively. This isn't like a Google Translate situation. These are like, we actually translate a lot of the sections. That would be like your neighborhood, history, amenities, all like the different like elements of the page. The only notable things we don't translate is like your listing description for obvious reasons. So that's really great. And it automatically detects the language of the user as well. So if someone comes in here and they're a native French speaker and their settings are set to that, it'll show up with everything set up in French. All right. I'll just jump back into the presentation. So it's great to have that web page, a fancy web page and everything, but that's really not enough. You need to make sure that you can promote it to get the eyeballs in your listing. It's not just great to have a great product, right? You have to make sure that people are exposed to it so that they can take advantage of it. So what we do is we implement an online advertising strategy that increases your listing's exposure and drives more traffic to your listing web page. And that's kind of one of the core things that Spotlight does. This ultimately helps increase the demand for your listing. And this is the one slide that is probably the most popular for listing presentations. Obviously not yet because all it says is online advertising, but the things that are going to populate in here because it really shows the power of what you're going to be doing to promote your client's listing. So we post the listing webpage on all the major social media networks, Kijiji and Craigslist. So those are, well, I'm sure people are probably familiar with Kijiji and Craigslist these days, and then Trovit and Matula, which are third-party listing websites. Realtor.ca, MLS, Century21.ca, or C21.ca. Those are things you should be promoting as well because you might take them for granted, but those are places that you're promoting your listings. Google and Bing. We actually submit your listing to those websites, to those search engines, Google and Bing. And we also take every measure to make sure your listing's indexed first and search engine optimized. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more details there, so I'm not going to go over it a lot now. But then also we do order a .com website address for your listing as part of the Spotlight package, and you're also going to show up on Spotlight.century21.ca. So this is just kind of like an overview of all the different places that you're going to be syndicating or advertising your listing to. And it's very powerful. And I'm going to show you later on too. We do have an online listing presentation where you can grab slides from, and this is one of them. So you can get a copy of this pretty easily to slot into your listing presentation. So we also provide you with a fully dedicated support staff, one of which is Robert that I mentioned before, who's hopefully in the chat answering questions, or will be shortly. It's kind of like having your own personal marketing professional handling all your listings marketing needs. We do all the dotting the I's, crossing all the T's for you. We save you time and the headache of the details, so you can spend time focusing and catering to your clients and growing your business. I'm sure a lot of you, especially as you're getting busier and busier, you're probably grappling with that idea of, okay, maybe I hire someone to be a personal assistant. Well, if you're kind of getting to that transition area, consider using Spotlight because we can take a lot of that off your plate and make your life a lot easier, freeing up that extra time for you as well. So just showing up on the screen now is our support phone number and email. We've got extended after hours and weekend support as well, so we can address your needs whenever you need. Feel free to call us or email us at any time. So the cost of everything I've shown you at this point is $220, and that includes the photography. But if you'd rather use our services with your own photos or photographer, you can also purchase one of our packages for $125. At that price, we'll do everything other than take the photos, and we'll still take the photos that you provide us. We'll put them into a virtual tour with the audio voiceover. We'll create the feature sheets. We'll do the online marketing strategy. All that stuff is still included for the $125. However, if you've got a listing that's a little higher end or there's more competition in your area to get that listing, we do have some additional services as well that I'm just going to kind of show you and highlight quickly. You definitely don't need these, but it's good to know that these tools are in your tool belt if you do need them, right? So we offer a video walkthrough is the first thing I'm showing you here. Hopefully you can see the video on my screen, which is a true walkthrough of the home. It's a clear upgrade from that slideshow style virtual tour because it helps show the flow of the home. We also offer aerial photography for listings that can benefit from it. These are more like estate properties, waterfront homes, home with a great lot. Those are ones that benefit from it the most. If you order videography along with aerial photography too, we'll make sure that the aerial video is included in the video walkthrough of the home, like you can see there. Just a note, when you're doing aerial photography, or if you want to do aerial photography, it's probably best to check with us first. We can confirm with the photographer that works in your area to make sure that wherever your listing is, it's not like a no-fly zone. There's no kind of issues that crop up with that because there are a lot of places that you're not permitted to use aerial photography for varying reasons. Like can't do it for a high rise, for instance, or you can't do it if you're in the middle of Yonge Street, right? Because there's just too much pedestrian traffic. It's typically okay for suburbs or, like I said, larger properties, rural properties, that kind of thing. So we also do 3D Matterport or iGuide tours, depending on your area. These have become extremely popular, especially with all the COVID stuff that's been happening for almost the past year now. I'm going to go into that a little bit more later because there's an interesting integration. If you don't know about with Matterport, between Matterport and Broker Bay, that you guys use for your backend for booking showings and stuff. So I'll go into that a little bit later on. But this is a great tool that is becoming a lot more synonymous with virtual tours these days. We also provide a sign rider with toll-free number as an add-on service. So if you order this, we'll send you a sign rider that can either hang below your for sale sign or you can mount it above it. This rider advertises your listing website, your .com address, as well as a unique toll-free number that we register specifically for your listing. It's unique to your listing. This toll-free number comes with an auto attendant that can allow callers to listen to an audio description of their listing, which is the one that we did for the virtual tour. They can leave a message for the listing agent. They can have information text to their phone, or they can even route the call directly to you. It's great on if you're looking for generating leads in your farming area. One of the great things about this is as soon as it's put up on your for sale sign, what's going to happen is the nosy neighbors are going to call or check out the .com, and it's really advertising in your area to show what you do for their neighbors, right? Once those neighbors get exposed to the marketing and everything, because they're going to check it out, it's a good way for them to potentially put you on the short list for it's time for them to sell their home. So here are the prices of all those additional services. There's a couple of asterisks. I just want to explain those. Aerial photography is generally $175. But there are situations which do require additional charges in different areas. Again, it's very rare, but I still want to put the asterisk there so you're not surprised. But whenever you do want to provide aerial photography, even if you don't have a listing yet, like you're going to a listing presentation, you just want to double check, just give us a call. We can let you know what the pricing would be. And again, give us a little bit of advance time because we do have to get in touch with the photographer and they've got to check the area to make sure it's okay. But we'll nail down the specific pricing for you before you start promising it to your client, so you're not surprised. Matterport has elastic next to it because it scales the size of the home. It starts at $175. It's $175 up to 1,500 square feet of photographed space. That includes basement, or not many people do the garage, but if you did the garage, for instance, it would include that area too, right? It's $275 up to 2,500 square feet, and $375 up to 3,500 square feet. And if it's bigger than that, it's an additional 7 cents per square foot. Okay, recap of the services are out of the way. So now let's take a look at how you can best take advantage of them, right? This is where the meat of the presentation comes in. What Spotlight really does is it gives you ammunition when you're trying to get listings. So if you're using Spotlight, integrating into your listing presentation is really a no-brainer. We've got some listing presentation slides that you can download and slot into your own listing presentations, which I kind of mentioned before, and I'll show you a little bit later on. So just keep that in mind when I'm going through this. So we all do know the point of listing presentations to convey to a potential client that you're the best agent to help sell their home. You've got a very short period of time to give this pitch of yours. And what you need to do is show your future clients that you're better than the other agents you're competing against. Now, Spotlight really helps beef up this listing presentation by giving you a comprehensive online marketing strategy. That slide I showed you 4 or 5 slides back. So you'd be crazy to go into a listing presentation without a strategy for selling the person's home, right? And considering how much of the home buying process is so online focused, a large portion of the strategy should really deal with the internet, the online presence, and how you're going to handle that for the person's given listing. One great way to boost the benefits of your internet strategy in the eyes of your future clients is by trying to get them to relate to the mindset of a potential buyer. It's pretty likely that your sellers have used the internet to look at homes before talking to you, right? Like almost everyone does it. So talk to them about the experience a little bit. When they were looking at homes, they come across listings with no pictures, probably, right? Maybe they saw some homes with really bad pictures. Let's try and get a feel for how they perceive those listings, right? Like they probably didn't spend much time on them. They probably just discarded them, went to the next listing right away. They might have had trouble disseminating the information. So they formed a poor opinion about those listings. It's like the book and cover analogy, right? Like it's got a poor cover. People don't want to read the book. They just move on to the next one without second thoughts. They're going to ask them, okay, well, did you come across any listings with like great marketing? Maybe that's even how they found you, right? Maybe they came across some Spotlight listings. Maybe that's a good example to use. I'm sure they spent a lot more time looking at those listings with great marketing, great pictures, virtual tours, etc., and they form better opinions about those homes. So what you need to portray to them is that you're going to be making sure that their listing is going to attract that kind of attention from people, right? The amazing pictures, great virtual tour, feature-rich website, advertising all over the web. It's an online marketing strategy, right? That's what you have. You're going to give it to them, and it's important. You know it's important. You just got to get them to realize how important it is as well. So by doing this, you're instantly going to narrow down the field of your competition because surprisingly, a lot of agents still don't have this online marketing strategy. And if they do, it's not very comprehensive or well thought out. So by giving all this information to your client and being confident about portraying it too, this is going to make them question other agents they're going to be interviewing, right? You're planting the seed to kind of sabotage the next agents that are doing listing presentations after you. They're going to start asking those agents questions like, okay, so like, what's your internet marketing strategy? Where can my advertising, where you advertise my home on the internet? Can you provide me a marketing package similar to Spotlight, which maybe they have no clue what Spotlight is, right? It's going to make them scratch their heads a bit. And you're going to be able to catch these other agents off guard. So not only are they going to falter, that's going to drop their value, making you look more knowledgeable, professional, and aware of like everything that's going on and aware of the marketplace. So also, one other thing I want to speak about being knowledgeable about these products and stuff too, you want to make sure you're not caught off guard in the listing presentation. So one good thing I always try and tell agents we work with is do your best to have your conversations with us about, and to get more knowledgeable about what we're providing you, right? I'm always happy to chat with you. We've got a great support team that you can call or email anytime. We can go over all the facets of what we do. The bottom line about like anything, not just Spotlight, but just real estate in general, if you can show your clients you're knowledgeable, you've got an answer for everything, and your future client gets that impression, they're going to feel a lot more confident in your ability to sell their home, and you're likely going to get the listing. So it's important to have those conversations with us. It's one thing to have Spotlight. It's another thing to know what it does and the ins and the outs of it. So Spotlight is all about quality of service. And this is an important thing because when you're competing with other agents, you want to compete on quality, right? You don't want to compete on the commission numbers like I talked about before. I've talked to several trainers, top real estate agents, all sorts of people over the past several years. The constant feedback I get about how Spotlight has helped them is that agents have really been able to emphasize how they're going to go the extra mile for their clients. They're going to spare no expense, attention to detail. They're extremely professional, comprehensive strategy, all that kind of stuff, the kitchen sink, right? So you can show your clients that you're giving them everything and that kitchen sink. And more importantly, you're going to sell their home faster for more money than anyone else because of your strategy. You've got a solid advantage over your competition, right? At the end of the day, it's not just about snagging the listing. It's also about making more money on those listings too. Lost count The number of agents have told me they charge higher or full commission since they started using Spotlight. I'm sure your managers and trainers would say the same thing as well. People are willing to pay more for the best value if they see value. You want to compete on value. You don't want to compete on price. I can't say that enough. If you can do that, you're going to find it much easier to charge higher commissions. And your clients will be happy to pay it too. That's the thing. So we got a little story for you. A couple stories. The best man at my wedding, Justin, some of you may actually know him. He's a real estate agent. For years, he's been charging 1.5 or even less % commission on all of his listings, and he refused to increase his commission. He always had this fear that he'd lose out on business if he started charging more commission, but he just recently increased it to 2%. I think he actually, last time I talked to him, he was just going to go up to 2.5. And this was just this year. And he swears he hasn't lost a single listing over this commission conversation. He's really been kicking himself that he does the numbers all the time on trying to figure out how much money he's lost because he didn't charge more commission over the past, decade or whatever he's been selling real estate. I think he finally realized that people are simply willing to pay more if they see value in it. And he's very confident he knows his value and he's good at portraying it. Paying more for a better agent with a better strategy that can sell homes for more money and that's very confident, that can really benefit everybody. And it's really simple math, right? Like if you're looking at a home, let's say just as an example you see on the screen, that's $500,000. And obviously the scales up and down, right? You're trying to justify, say, like 0.5% higher commission. Maybe the person's like, well, the listing agent before you, he's charging 1.5. How can you justify charging 2%? Well, you can have this kind of conversation with them. All you need to show them is that you're worth that little bit extra, right? Show them you're going to sell them why you're going to sell their house for more. Because like in this case, like if you sell them, if you get them an extra $10,000 on the sale of their home, for instance, for the sake of the argument, that's 4 times more than the extra money they paid you in commission if you do the math. Now, I'm not saying like you should get into specific numbers. I mean, that's up to you. But my point is, if you can highlight that you're a good investment, everyone can understand that, right? They're willing to pay more money for someone who makes them more in the end. They're investing in your services, and that's how it should be treated. And that extra commission, it really adds up. Like an extra 0.5% is a huge boost to your earning potential. That's $2,500 more on this, more gross commission this list scenario, right? If you boost your commission for multiple listings a year, that quickly adds up. A similar story I was once told, and this is actually Pam. I'm not sure if she's still on the call. So you may have heard it before because I know Pam likes to tell stories. So once upon a time, she convinced one of her top agents to go from offering a standard 1% commission up to 2% commission. And he was like, there's no way. If I double my commission, I'm going to lose like half my listings. Like I'm going to lose all my business. And Pam had the best retort to that. She said, that's great. That means you're going to be working half as much to make the exact same amount of money. And that really kind of resonated with me. And I thought that was a really good point, a really good way to kind of put that. And I think you're going to find that, okay, if you went from 1% to 2%, you're probably not going to lose half your listings, right? You're probably not going to lose any, especially if you show that confidence and you overcome that fear, right? So justify your commission and you'll see it increase. And that's what all this stuff's ultimately about in the end.